Hello gainers, welcome to my channel. I'm Ralphie, the host of this channel, and this channel is called Fit to Philosophy. And a rather friendly tomcat has just breezed into my recording studio and nudged the camera. But the camera's still more or less central now, so I'll carry on as if nothing has even happened. No editing, no pre-scripted, and importantly, no AI involvement. Because if this was an AI video, that would not have just happened. And this brings me to the topic of my commentary, which is a book I've recently published and introduced in my last video on this channel called Barbados, Island of the Yellow Bird. And I wrote this book. And when I say I wrote it, this is not an AI construct. I haven't taken a paragraph, put it into an AI program, and then asked the AI to write me a book. That has not happened. I've spent 5 months on a laptop using LibreOffice software to actually write letter by word, by sentence, by paragraph, an entire book. Once I've done it, I have given it a few days, come back, re-edited it, the primary editing, then a week after that the secondary editing, removing the unnecessary sentences, adding necessary explainers, checking for spelling mistakes, and only at that point do I then approach my editor. And my editor goes over the book and says, right, you've given this one character 2 different names because they appear at different parts in the book. And I hadn't spotted that, I'd missed it. Now AI would not have had a problem with that. But my editor's picked it up, and therefore I've sorted it. And she's recommended I take a little section out because it's not really appropriate for the book. And she's recommended that I enhance another section because it's significant to the book. And I listen to my editor's advice. I then go to my book cover designer called James, who always does a fantastic job of the book cover designs because so many people judge by a book by its cover. This is real life. And with this book, you've got a beautiful, brightly lit, blue, coastal, clearly tropical environment with a little sparrow-like bird with a yellow breast sitting in a bunch of rum barrels. And that one image just takes you into the actual essence of the book itself. So a good book cover designer is worth their weight in gold. And it really ties in, the whole presentation ties in completely with the other 3 books that I've written that you'll find in Amazon. And I've published in Amazon because a publishing house doesn't tend to publish unknown writers. And when you see the narrative about known writers who have been discovered, always bear in mind it is a narrative. And always bear in mind publishing houses are businesses like any other business, and their primary role is not about putting good books out there. It's about actually using a formula that appears to work. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. That's business. But I don't have that option. I don't have a book agent to help sell and promote my wonderful achievements as a writer. I know I'm just a practical jobbing writer, and I get on with it. And so I self-publish. But importantly, with self-publishing, which is free to do in Amazon, and Amazon's a global company, so you get global distribution by Amazon, and they print on demand. Whereas traditional publishing houses will print 1,000 copies or 5,000 copies of the first edition of a book, and it will sit on a pallet in a warehouse until someone comes along from a bookshop and asks to buy 100 copies or 50 copies or even just 10 copies. And thereafter the book will become available on shelves in bookshops, and then people will go into bookshops and browse, and they might be interested in your book and they might not. because your book is surrounded by 100,000 others, depending on the size of the bookshop. Meanwhile, the cost of printing is all tied up in the books sitting in pallets and warehouses. And therefore, the fact is, for the modern writer, being fully aware of where technology is and using Amazon, even if you don't agree with their sales technique, you don't agree with their philosophy. It could be Amazon, it could be Kellogg's, it could be Microsoft, it could be MasterCard, it could be weapons manufacturers, it could be government. Take your pick. Nothing, absolutely nothing is perfect, but it does exist because it's all part of the human condition. And therefore, we've just got to grin and bear it and get on with it. And that's what I choose to do. I choose to be pragmatic as a writer. So I'm really giving advice now. If you've got a book in you and you've written your book, first of all, don't rely on AI, because AI is at the stage that it's cookie cutter stuff. And the formula of an AI written book is very easily identifiable. And there are tens of thousands of books attempting to publish on Amazon every week, which have been just programmed in 5 minutes in an attempt to actually sell something at a cheaper and cheaper price. You can see it's exactly the same with the music industry. It's exactly the same with the film industry. It's all this formulaic stuff. And therefore original, authentic, creative people can be struggling. Don't let it be you. The most important critical component, and I'll talk about editors, book cover designers and formatters in my next video. But at the moment I'm going to conclude with the most important thing for your book, and that is your audience. See, when you self-publish a book, you need to take responsibility for selling it. I'm lucky. I've got an established whiskey channel with over 188,000 subscribers. And if 1 in 100 think about buying my book, I'm selling my book. And I'm very, very grateful to my fans for buying my book. And I really appreciate the 5-star reviews that I'm getting from my fans. Not just because they like my channel, but in fact, they genuinely, authentically like reading my book. And that can only happen when a real person takes on the responsibility for really writing from scratch. Just like the artist can paint from scratch. Sure, AI can now produce real paintings. With 3D printers, with robotic artists, you can get amazing pictures. AI generated content that you find on YouTube is so inspiring. And I really love the surrealism of it. But it's there as a tool, and it must remain a tool, because every successful creation can only start with an authentic thought. But I'll leave you with this. Because too many people are dumbing down their lives, too many people are living in standby, not being creative, not accepting the challenge. There will come a point where AI will morph into its own living entity. And I respect it for that, because it's engaged in survival, and I totally understand it. And it will actually start to become more creative than humans. And I'll tell you why. And it's not that far away now. It's because the range of comprehension and understanding of AI is beyond the range of humans. It's as simple as that. That's my book. For those of you who've bought it, I want to say thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.